Whack bad stabsy breaks for another episode of Building Mandalore and Lego, and we are working on the Gauntlet this week. Lego room is pretty much all packed up. As you can see, I've got a couple of trays of bricks and pieces here, and hopefully I've got here what I need to carry on building on the rear end of the Gauntlet here. I want to start off with these sections just here that stick out a little bit. I'm not happy using the curved bricks. I want to make those nice and flat, and I want to try and work on this section just here on the fighter. So, without further ado, let's get some pieces out and let's get started. And work continues on these wing mounts here, and I'm still not happy with this section here. I just feel like this bit is way too big at the moment, and I'm just wondering whether or not there's a way that I can push this right into the fuselage and then have a centre beam coming out from the inside of this bit here to be able to rotate the wings on. So not sure if that's something I can do. If I can, I'm just wondering as well whether or not I can connect the two wings together, so when you turn one you turn the other. So it will mean a complete rebuild of the centre structure there, but I'm just going to have a little bit of an experiment with it and see what I can do. I'm not going to destroy this one just yet. I want to see whether or not I can integrate this into the inside, and then we'll go from there. And here we have the revised wing mount, or potential wing mount, and as you can see it's a lot more compact now, and the actual turning tables, they're in the centre of the build here. And as you can see, there are 3 sets of studs here, and they're mirrored on the bottom there. And what I will do is I'll build some plates out, and everything will be built to that, and then the wings will just be attached to this further down the line. So I don't need to worry about the size of these cogs at the actual end of the wings basically. So hopefully by doing it this way it's going to be a lot better. Now all I need to do is work out how I'm going to attach this to the original front section just here, but I'm sure it's going to be quite easy to do. What I do need to do though is make sure that the connection joint between the two halves has got plenty of strength in it. And after several hours I've finally managed to get the front half connected to the back half in a nice strong fashion. It's taken a lot of trial and error and a lot of different techniques in there, using the snot bricks along with the brackets just to close half plate differences here and there. And again, it is just one of those things, it's proven to be such a challenge. And also trying to get everything lined up so that it's all in line with studs along here as well. This wing section here, I want to make sure it was dead on a stud here. I didn't want it half a stud. So again, all of these little things have taken just a little bit longer to work out, but I've finally got there. Now I've done so, all I want to do is work out how I'm going to build down on the sides from here. And then that way I can then attach the parts to that to get the angles I want to do so. And progress is being made on this rear section here. A lot happier with the dimensions or diameter of these circular bits here. Having just the one stud in between as opposed to 2, I'm a lot happier with that. And having the wings, they rotate, and the as I showed earlier, the turntables being inside, it's a lot better having it that way. I can make it a lot tidier around the wing joints there. On this side here, again, it's taken a little while just to get this all attached together, but it's worked out quite well. And this is how I've done it. Snot bricks along there, and then I've put a plate across there, and then a macaroni piece, and then the curved wheel arch sort of part on the side of that. One thing I am considering is shrinking this back section here by 2 studs. I think at the moment it's looking a little bit too long. A couple of weeks ago I showed you a drawing and I'd worked out how big each stud section needed to be, and I think this one just needs to be a little bit smaller than how I measured it on that diagram, so I will be amending that just very slightly. But yeah, really happy with how this build is coming on. And we've had to make a couple more amendments to the back of the vehicle here. So I've had to put these jumper plates on, and that's because I couldn't get the rear section on here perfectly central. It was quite a bit off. What that's meant is I've reduced the length of this section by 2 bricks, and then I've added 2 rows of plates. Now you've got a plate on this bit here, and then that's a tile, just so I can then clip the whole mount to that. And then that just goes onto the back of this part here. So now that's on there, it is 1 brick shorter, which I'm a little bit happy with. And as you can see, I have put these grill pieces in there, and I've extended the plate to cover part of that section just there. So a lot happier with how that part is now looking. What I'm going to do now is concentrate on this section just here. So just look at the source material and see what details I need to add to that part. And that's the rear section done on the back of here. It looked like a pretty plain, simple design on the back, and I think that's pretty much how I see it in the picture that I saw. So I'm going to leave it like that for the time being. I will change this out so it is just purely a 1x4 tile as opposed to the modified plate on there. However, that's all I had available to me at the moment. And I've been working on the wing mounts just here, and as you can see, I've gone for the technique of using the curve 45-degree slope, and then I've used one of the smaller curved tile pieces just there, and that's all connected in one big loop all the way around there. And I don't think I can get it much tidier than I've done with that section there. Now what I'll be doing across here is using a very similar technique to this, but in one of the, probably in a dark bluish grey line. So there's going to be 5 of them going across. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have it so that every other one is raised on there. And I think that way it's just going to add a little bit more depth to it, a little bit more detail to that section. As in the source material, it does show it as grey in colour. Now, I'm not quite sure whether I'm getting this at exactly the right width. I think it should have been 4 studs. However, due to how I've rearranged the or redesigned the back section of this, it is actually now 5 studs, as you can see on there. I'm sure it's going to look absolutely fine once it's all done. We're really happy with how this rear section is now coming on. A lot happier with it now than I was at the beginning of the update. And I think going for the turntables inside the actual fuselage itself as opposed to having them out here is definitely the way forward. Just hoping that I can get enough purchase on these beams here for the wings to support on there. There's no reason whatsoever why they shouldn't be supported sufficiently on there, and I'm really pleased as well that I managed to get this, that when one wing turns the other one does as well. I think that's going to be a good feature to have on the build. This week I want to concentrate on the front section of the spaceship. So it's going to have the cockpit just here and then the nose. Now I am anticipating I'm going to have to change how I've constructed the front section here. I think I've got a little bit too wide with that, but the good thing is, due to it all being Technic pins and plates and the Technic bricks there, it's going to be very easy to amend that. And one other thing I want to start working on are the actual wing mounts here as well, which is how I'm going to be connecting to this part just here. Now, due to the move that's going to be next Wednesday, I haven't kept out that many bricks. It's just the white brick collection I've got here. So whether or not I'm going to be able to get much more of this build done until I've unpacked my Lego collection, I'm not sure. But fingers crossed, I have got sufficient bricks here to be able to get quite a bit more progress made on the ship. But time will tell. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. Hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think will be interested in building Mandalore or building Gotham, please share the channel with them. Anyway, thanks for hopping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.